I was losing my mind the other day, man. Sometimes it makes me wonder if I'm even bi, because men are so fucking ugly in art. Nobody draws good, sexy art of men. Did anyone see my schizo posting on Twitter? Did anyone see the schizo posting that I was engaging in? Any real fans? I agreed with you. Yeah, the fucked up thing is, like, so many people use pretty women as the aesthetic default for whatever they want to draw. Like, if they want to draw somebody just looking cool in streetwear, or if they want to draw somebody, like, just being chill, or like, oh, here's a cool aesthetic or whatever, you know? They'll draw a cute woman. And whenever guys are drawn, like, if a guy is drawn by a person who's not attracted to men, the guy is just like an unsexy brick. And if the guy is drawn by someone who wants to make the guy look sexy, they turn him into, like, a sex object. And the frustrating thing is, like, a lot of women are drawn sexy, sometimes in, like, very over-the-top, like, big boobs, or, like, the clothing's kind of see-through, but they're still made to look cool. Like, you hit that middle ground where women will look at a drawing like that and go, oh, yeah, I would love to look like that, right? And then guys will look at a drawing like that and be like, oh, well, I'd love to fuck her. And that's great. That's a perfect middle ground for fan service as far as I'm concerned, right? It's one of the reasons why, to draw an example, I think Lucy is cool from Cyberpunk, right? Because Lucy is obviously sexy, right? Everyone agrees on this. But plenty of chicks can look at Lucy and go like, oh, she's like super cool, you know? Like, I would love to look like that. Great, it's aspirational, it's fun for everyone. You know, everyone looks, I was about to say for the whole family, not in this case. Everyone looks there and is happy, you know? But when guys are drawn sexy, they're drawn as, like, porn actors. Does that make any sense? Like, when people want to draw a guy that looks sexy, they do not draw him looking cool. He's never casually sexy. He's never just incidentally sexy. Spike from Cowboy Bebop. I think Spike from Cowboy Bebop is a good example of a guy who's cool and sexy. Here's an odd one. You know who else I think is? The older gentleman from, Chainsaw Man. The older guy. The guy who's like 50 or whatever. I think that's another good example of a guy who's really cool. Like, you look at him and you're like, oh, damn, like, I'd want to be that guy, you know? But also, if you're into men, he's like landing, you know? Gojo? Yeah, I think that JJK does a great job of this. I think that with the guy with the leopard print tie, Gojo, and with the other one, those are all good examples of guys who are cool but also sexy. But I just don't think stuff like that is that common. But the thing that really pisses me off is when people explain this difference, which is caused, in my opinion, personally, it's a consequence of the cultural divide where we see women as like the art avatars of beauty and men as just like brutes or whatever. What I hate is when lefties reinforce that dichotomy by insisting that it is just women are prettier. Lesbians are bad at this. Lesbians will be like, well, women are just prettier. Dog, you are literally contributing to the same social standard that keeps your ass in the dirt, okay? Like, the idea that women are like the naturally beautiful and ethereal, this is currently like a fascist predisposition. It doesn't change just because you're lesbian. Like, you being lesbian doesn't change the fact that that's what you're feeding into. Like, it's cool if you're not into guys, that's fine. It's not about what you're into. But when you make a broad statement like, well, women are just more beautiful than men, like, that is essentialist and weird. You're doing gender. That's cringe. Who does gender? Yes, transbians are super fucking annoying about this, in large part because I think they're trying to overperform to compensate for a bunch of other stigmas they're experiencing, which I understand. And I don't, like, think they're a horrible person if they do that, but, you know, they're wrong. Fascist lesbianism unlocked? Yeah, it's called the ADL. I think I might keep, like, an ongoing Twitter thread where I find fan art where the men are drawn in ways that are cool and aspirational, but also are very obviously meant to be sexually attractive in a way that's a little over the top, but still in a way that doesn't detract from the overall coolness factor. I wonder if men would feel more confident experimenting with stuff like fashion and makeup and stuff if there were more aspirational examples of guys being casually hot. Because, like, man, one of the big things for me about fashion is that there are a lot of really small fashion, like, influencers or accounts or whatever, of guys who are really beautiful. And I don't mean that in, like they're ethereally hot or, like, they're models or whatever, but they've got their style down pat. Like, their style is really, really down, and they look really cool, you know? And it's like, damn, normally when you see people stunting like that, it's just chicks, because chicks are kind of like socialized into that, and they know how to do it, and they've got makeup and stuff. But it's nice to have those examples that you can point to and go like, well, no, if you actually want to like draw attention to your appearance in a positive way by looking that cool, like, you can totally do that. JoJo characters might actually be the most plentiful with pretty men, certainly towards the later chapters. Yeah. Hello.
Bapanada.
Still got it. God, I want to fuck her. Also, okay. Like, this is an example of the point that I was making, and this might sound crazy, but the reason people really like her is because of her voice, that, like, kind of sexy, resigned, like, oh, you know, shop clerk voice or whatever. But, like, that's not a gendered thing. You know what I mean? That's not a gendered thing. You could make a guy character with a masculine voice, like a deeper tone of voice, do, like, a bapanada, like, but in a way that people would find kind of subtly flirtatious, but we default to doing it with girls because we all just take them as, like, you know, the default sexy voice or just sexy, you know, feature. I think a lot of young men spend their lives upset with women in part because the men also long to be beautiful. Not as women, mind you, because I know a lot of people take this as a trans thing, but just generally physically striking. People always accuse me of egg posting when I see pictures of, like, cool, sexy women. Not pictures, it's always drawings of cool, sexy women. And saying, this is so me, or et cetera, et cetera. But what they don't understand, and what I'll never be understood for, you know, I'll always be misunderstood on this, is that it's about the archetypal ability to be both cool and sexy. Something which is just not usually depicted for guys, which is a real shame. Because a lot of people are attracted to guys. Alucard? Alucard's a great example.
This shit is BAPANADA. BAPANADA.
That's true. I actually think that the first Castlevania show was great about this. Both Alucard and what's-his-face were cool and sexy. They were both deliberately designed to be cool and sexy. Were they not? Everyone who's seen it. What's his face? Ricard? Trevor, thank you. Like, when they designed Trevor, they were like, we're gonna make this guy, like, fucking hot, you know? And they succeeded, and he's still cool.
Muscles for men equals makeup on women. At least in cishet land.
In cishet land, but that shit is not how it works in real life. Whoops. But when I look at Alucard and I see his appearance as aspirational, it's not because I want to look like Alucard. Not really my thing, you know? It's more like, damn, that's a lot of cunt you're serving. That's a fat, meaty-ass Arby's roast beef pussy of cunt you're serving. You want to fuck him? God, yes. Who doesn't? Jesus.
So you're saying we need men to be more like Ogata from Golden Kamuy, but without the sociopathy.
I don't want to make any positive relations to any characters from Golden Kamuy, okay? There's a lot of bad examples there. It's a lot. I don't want people taking from that.
This message is both cool and sexy.
That's true. I agree. I really do mean it when I say this, though. You know? Do I actually want to, like, show a thing right now? Okay, I'm going to show exactly one thing. One single thing. I'm not getting distracted from the game for long. I mean it. Just one thing. I know people I often say this. I often say this, okay? Because I was making this point on Twitter, and then I just randomly saw this example that I thought illustrated my point really, really well. Okay, here you go. It's just a really cute little animation that I saw on Twitter. There's like a little witch girl who goes on the bench, but on the bench, there's like this big golem, like bandage-wrapped knight armor lady. And I think that when you look at this, it's like, so obviously this character right here is, like, drawn sexy. Right? Like, for proportions and the highlighted breasts and her size and so on. But, like, if a guy was drawn here as, like, a big, cool warrior guy sitting on a bench, he would either just be a big, foreboding, sexless man, or if they wanted to make him sexy for some reason, that would be the only feature to him. Like, he would look like a porn character. But she looks cool and sexy. Hopefully that point makes sense, because I'm not going to continue iterating it, especially because I think I've more or less made Johnny from Guilty Gear is sexy and cool. I would need to remind myself who that is. Oh yeah, the hello. See you next game. Yeah, the goat guy from fucking Tears of the Kingdom as well. I think he leaned in way more towards sexy, but I did appreciate the novelty of his design quite a bit. Rauru, yeah. Raru's fucking hot. God damn it! I bet nobody's ever done that without falling. Everyone from Guilty Gear sexy Lamau. Yeah, Guilty Gear does a really good job of designing its characters, male and female, to be cool and sexy.
I can't think of Tears of the Kingdom without a little version of you popping up in my head and whispering asterisk 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 gutters.
I do think it is crazy how far they went with Raru's design. Rauru is like obscenely attractive to me and to a lot of other people in fairness, but like they knew what they were doing. Literally, like he's a massive, muscular femme goat man with extremely prominent abs. Like, it's crazy what they got away with there. I don't know why. I don't know how they... I don't know what motivated them to take that direction. I've already been here. Every girl I know who plays Tears of the Kingdom Sim. Yeah, but you know what? In addition to being like obscenely, jaw-droppingly attractive, he's also cool, right? Like that design is cool. It's the overt steaming sexuality of it does not rob him of like a grace and magnificence, you know? What about the guys in Dungeon Meshi? I think that Laios and Kabru both well fit into this category as well.